Could I feel it?
Are you kidding? God, at school, everyone's just like grabbing my belly all the time. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm a legend, you know? They call me the cautionary whale.
It's The Money Issue on Sunday Morning. Here again is Jane Pauley.
That's Jennifer Garner in Juno, which was a big hit on the big screen not that long ago. She's just launched a new streaming series based on a bestseller from author Laura Dave. They are in conversation with Jonathan Vigliotti.
Sausalito, California is a Bay Area bohemia, best known for its views of San Francisco and maze of floating homes.
There are about 400 floating homes here and in Marin County, and they are both incredibly private, and yet you have this wonderful community of people.
For author Laura Dave, it was also the perfect setting for a mystery.
That dichotomy was something I really wanted to be the backdrop to someone who is both searching for community and also someone who needs to hide.
These docks serve as the opening location for her novel, The Last Thing He Told Me, published by Simon & Schuster, our sister Paramount Global company. It was one of the best-selling books of 2021, and now, 2 years later, it's also an Apple TV Plus series starring Jennifer Garner that began streaming Friday.
Remember how I lost my parking ticket on our second date?
That was me.
Sure, but it was my fault.
That I lost my parking ticket?
I distracted you.
Oh, well, that's true.
The thriller follows Garner's character Hannah after her husband, played by Nikolai Coster-Waldau, vanishes, leaving her and her stepdaughter to piece together the mystery themselves.
Tell me who sent you!
Go now!
All while wondering how well they actually know the man they love.
Your husband is not who you think he is.
That million-dollar idea first came to Laura Dave 20 years ago, following Enron's financial scandal and 2001 collapse.
What I was most interested in was I saw Kenneth Lay, the CEO's wife, give an interview in which she said, "My husband's done nothing wrong." And I was fascinated by the idea of a woman who found herself in the situation where the world was telling her husband was someone and she believed him to be someone else. And that sort of ruminated for a really long time.
It would be another decade before Dave spun that idea into publishing gold. But patience and perseverance seem to have always been her virtues, ever since she began working on her very first novel in her 20s.
I was in a coffee shop finishing my novel, and I spilled water on my computer and I lost the entire thing. And I remember distinctly lying on the floor of my childhood bedroom and my father saying, "Well, what are you going to do now?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to start again." That's the moment I became, to myself, convinced that I was going to write and was going to spend my life writing one way or another because no other option felt possible.
The finished product, London is the Best City in America, became a New York Times bestseller, launching her career. Dave has published 5 books since. Her latest, The Last Thing He Told Me, is her most read yet, catching the attention of Reese Witherspoon's Hello Sunshine Media Company, along with A-listers like Jennifer Garner, who even wrote a letter to producers asking to play the title role.
What did you say in that letter?
I think that I said I haven't done this. I haven't felt so drawn to a role that I needed to let you know why you need to cast me and why I'm right for this job.
Laura, do you remember receiving that letter?
Yes, the letter wasn't to me, but it was shared with me. And so when Jim was just like, "Oh, well, I think I said this," I'm like, "I can tell you everything." This is one of the best letters I ever got to read.
The power of a letter.
A few letters, yeah.
Garner says she fell in love with the role while reading the book to her children, whom she co-parents with her ex-husband, actor and filmmaker Ben Affleck.
We just devoured it. There's no other way to say it. We could not. Bedtime went out the window. We stayed up so late every night. Sometimes it was me saying, "I'm so sorry, we have to keep going. It's a cliffhanger. I have to see what happens. I'm sorry, I know you have school tomorrow. You're going to be tired."
That kind of review is music to Dave's ear. In fact, she says music, the song If I Should Fall Behind by Bruce Springsteen, plays a very real role in her writing.
Well, I will wait for you. And if I fall behind, wait for me.
How many times would you say you've listened to this song?
I mean, on one computer it had 13,000. One of the best compliments I get is when readers reach out and say, I couldn't put this down. And I think listening to the same song, for me, I think puts a rhythm to the writing. It helps me move it in a certain way, move the book in a certain way, so that there's almost a musical undertone.
A musical undertone that she says sets the tempo for her exploration of the book's central theme.
I always start with a question. And for this novel, the question was, can you know the people you love the most? And what does it mean to love the people you love the most? So what I have learned is it's a constant knowing. It's a constant movement into knowing. And one of the gifts you can give people over a lifetime, the people you love, is to know and re-know them as they change and evolve.
And why was it important for you to send that message through your writing?
Let me say first that I think it is possible to know the people that we love if we accept that the details about them might change. You can sort of know someone on a soul level, and when you're lucky enough to know someone on a soul level, that can be everything.
Jen, I ask you that question. Can we ever know the people we love most? What's your takeaway?
I think yes and no. We may not know the details that we think we know, but yes, we can know the kernel of who they are. Although my parents, I think about them, they're pretty close. But 58 years, that would start to get there, yes.
So your parents know everything about each other.
My parents might know everything, but I don't know. Can you know everything about the person you love? Gosh. It's a yes and no, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With that original question from The Last Thing He Told Me still lingering, Laura Dave is already working on a sequel and says there's no doubt who she has in mind for that next chapter.
Laura said when she was writing the role of Hannah, she didn't actually picture what Hannah looked like. And now she can't imagine Hannah without your face attached to that body.
I could not be more grateful. I mean, this goes both ways. This is a meeting of the minds that doesn't end here.